So you know how the FDA regulates the food that we can eat and how it's processed and what's safe for the public to consume, and how in other countries like Europe the food standards are much higher than they are here in the US because they take a more proactive approach to food additives and are generally more careful with their public health? Well, the dog and cat food industry is exactly the same, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about some of the different entities that regulate or at least create guidelines for pet food brands. This is a lot of information, very information heavy video, so editing Megan is going to try her best to make this fun to watch. Okay. On any complete and balanced bag of pet food, legally, they have to put this on there if they want to claim it's complete and balanced. You'll see the AAFCO statement, which will read something along the lines of, this brand and this recipe is formulated to meet the nutritional levels established by the AAFCO dog food nutrient profiles for all life stages, or whatever the life stage is that it's made for. What are those nutritional levels, and what makes AAFCO trustworthy enough to listen to them? The Association of American Feed Control Officials determines if pet foods contain adequate nutrients to support pets in specific life stages, aka, is it complete and balanced? They guide state, federal, and international feed regulators with ingredient definitions, label standards, and laboratory standards. They do not directly test, regulate, approve, or certify pet foods to make sure that they meet requirements, so absolutely nothing is AAFCO approved or AAFCO certified, no matter how many people on TikTok ask you if the pet food brands that you like to feed your dog are certified or approved. Okay, so who are these people? Advisors and committee members include representatives from major feed manufacturers and ingredient suppliers such as Nestle Purina, Hill's Pet Nutrition, Nutro Products, and also include officials from the FDA and the Center for Veterinary Medicine. AAFCO's definition of food allowed to be used to make pet food is feed grade, material that is safe, functional, handled, and labeled appropriately for its intended use in animal food. It's not a whole lot of information, but we do know that the FDA considers animals that have died of disease to be A-okay. Their regulations also don't prohibit ingredients that we might consider unhealthy, such as unidentified meat and bone meal, unidentified animal fat, dried bakery products, including the plastic packaging, recovered retail food, soybean meal, soybean oil, and high fructose corn syrup. All in all, a brand that follows AAFCO guidelines is basically doing the bare minimum to legally be able to sell you pet food. The European Union requires animal products used in pet foods to be from animals declared fit for human consumption. Foods containing or consisting of GMOs, produced from GMOs, or containing ingredients produced from GMOs must be labeled even if they no longer contain traces of said GMOs. Also, every ingredient gets tracked through every step from sourcing to finished product, and every point along the way must be EU certified. In the US, ingredients can have chemicals added to them at any point in sourcing and processing, and the manufacturer doesn't have to list it on the label. No chemicals, artificial ingredients, or carcinogenic preservatives can be added to any ingredient of EU certified foods. Plus, suppliers of ingredients are inspected and USDA approved. Let's go back to the diseased animal thing for a second though. The EU states animal byproducts derived from animals shown not to be fit for human consumption as a result of a health inspection should not enter the feed chain. While the US states it to be illegal if meat is in whole or part the product of a diseased animal or of an animal which has died otherwise than by slaughter, the FDA and CVA basically ignores the law, formally stating that they are, quote, aware of no instances of disease or other hazard occurring from pet foods / animal feeds use of diseased or non-slaughtered dead animals. So the World Small Animal Veterinary Association, or WSAVA, or WSAVA, provides guidelines for vets, retailers, and consumers for selecting pet foods using these recommended questions. Number 1, do they employ a nutritionist? Number 2, who formulates the diet. Number 3, what is the quality control process for ingredients and finished products? And number 4, what kind of product research or nutrition studies have been conducted, and is it in peer-reviewed journals? According to the WSAVA, the main things to look for on a pet food label are, number 1, nutrition adequacy statement, being complete and balanced and meeting AAFCO nutritional standards, which, as we discussed before, legally has to be on the bag of complete and balanced pet food. Number 2, the calories per gram or serving of food. Number 3, does the company provide immediate contact information by email address or phone number? And number 4, who makes the food, the company themselves or a third-party manufacturer? It's also worth noting that the WSAVA is also funded by brands like Purina, Hills, and Royal Canin. The Global Animal Partnership, or GAP, are a nonprofit used in both human and pet food, and are an animal welfare labeling program verified by audits conducted on every farm every 15 months to influence the food industry, raise customer expectations, and create a sustainable environment. GAP defines animal welfare as 3 components. Here we go. Health and productivity, raising healthy animals with good quality feed and water, shelter, and free from disease, illness, and injury. Natural living, raising animals in environments that allow them to express their natural behaviors. And emotional well-being, raising animals in environments that allow them physical and mental enrichment and minimize restlessness, stress, and pain as much as possible. Because studies have shown that the meat from animals under stress are tougher, more tasteless, and can go bad quicker. So a GAP certified label means the animals were raised with more space, a safe and enriched environment, access to a pasture or outdoors, and a healthy, hormone and antibiotic-free diet. Lastly, this one's important but less about ingredients. The Pet Sustainability Coalition is a nonprofit founded in 2013. They provide customers and other organizations knowledge and tools to decrease the amount of plastic generated by the pet food industry, and they currently support almost 200 pet companies. Their current goal is to get all pet industry companies to transition to sustainable packaging by 2025, because an estimated 300 million pounds of plastic waste from pet products alone are dumped into landfills every year. So, here's a quick recap. Anything complete and balanced will have the AAFCO statement on the bag. This is like bottom of the barrel as far as standards go. The WSAVA starts with AAFCO guidelines, then asks some tougher questions about the brands and how the food was made, if they're formulated by animal nutritionists, etc. EU and GAP ratings are a good sign, as these tend to have higher standards in the quality of the animal products being used to formulate the food. While it's always up to a pet parent to decide what they're going to feed their dog or cat, what they deem is best for their animals, these are just some guidelines that can help you pick out a bag of food when you're shopping for your pets. As always, reach out to us if you have any questions. Always consult your vet before making major changes to your pet's diet, and we will see you in the pet food aisle. Thanks for watching.